These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
I'm Faye Fredericks with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. Starting with the search for a killer in Glendale. 62-year-old woman stabbed to death overnight near 83rd Avenue and Bethany Home Road. Police now identifying her as Judy Lopez of Phoenix. Investigators do not have a suspect description. Call Glendale police with any information. 60 now back open following a deadly crash around 3 this morning near Power Road. DPS says at least one person was killed. We're working to learn if anyone else was hurt in the single vehicle crash. Wildfire growing in southern Arizona. The Stronghold fire is up to 3,000 acres with no containment. Firefighters say winds are making this firefight tough. Communities about 30 minutes south of Wilcox are under evacuation orders. In our wildfire watch, fire crews are battling the Stronghold fire south of Cochise. Flames burning about 3,000 acres so far, with some evacuation orders still in place. Neighbors south of Ironwood Road and west of Cochise Stronghold Road, as well as the Stronghold Canyon campground, still on go status, with other areas nearby on set status. Trust ABC 15 to follow the fire closely and bring you updates as they come in. The number of job openings declined in March, a sign of a slowing economy, but hirings and separations changed very little. ABC 15 data analyst Garrett Archer taking us inside the numbers on the latest job market report. New census data finds tariffs have led to a short-term increase in the nation's trade deficit. That deficit hit a record high of $162 billion last month, largely because of companies stockpiling products before the tariffs kicked in, making many imports more important. President Trump has long criticized the U.S. trade deficit, the difference between how much our nation exports compared to what we're importing. U.S. has positioned itself as a consumer economy for decades, with domestic manufacturing falling steadily since the 1950s. President Trump's plan to fundamentally change the domestic economy has been a driving force of his tariff push, though some economists disagree over whether it will ultimately benefit American workers. More coverage now of the 100th day of President Trump's second term, including a closer look at one of his newest executive orders. Could affect thousands of students brought to the U.S. illegally as children. The executive order attempts to end in-state tuition for undocumented immigrants, but it's unclear if it applies to Arizona's Prop 308 that guarantees in-state tuition to anyone who graduated from an Arizona high school after attending for at least 2 years. A Dreamer who worked on Prop 308 says this executive order should not apply to the Arizona law that was passed by voters more than 2 years ago.
And Arizona voters said resoundingly, these are our kids. We want to support them. We invested in them, and we want them to invest back in Arizona and return that investment. So I think that's a different conversation that he's going to have in any other state.
He says Prop 308 was crafted to follow federal law. ASU, NAU, and Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays all tell us they're reviewing the president's new order. When the big news breaks, ABC 15 listens to you. Answer our online poll and let us know how you're grading the president's first 100 days back in office. Scan the QR code on your screen or head to abc15.com/poll to weigh in. We'll be checking on your responses throughout the evening. In our Impact Earth report, the future of the U.S. response to climate change is getting murkier. Trump administration has now dismissed all of the scientists and authors working on the next congressionally mandated report on how our warming world is affecting the nation. Last report was issued in 2023. It found we're already seeing the effects of a warmer planet, with extreme weather events getting deadlier and more common. The next report was due to be released in 2027. Climate experts around the world continue to warn that the world is running out of time to reverse course and avoid irreversible damage to the Earth.
Tracking your forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Amber Sullins. Temperatures are back on the rise, and tomorrow it's back to the 90s here in the valley. We also have an air quality alert as ozone pollution builds up throughout the day. An ozone high pollution advisory has been issued. So if you have any kind of respiratory condition, asthma, COPD, for example, you're going to want to limit your time outside in the afternoon tomorrow, or you may have difficulty breathing. We've got a storm system moving through that brought a few showers and thunderstorms to our state today. Another one on Friday that'll keep rain chances in the forecast a along the rim, along and north of I-40 as well, and a third coming in over the weekend. This one's going to bring some significant winds, about a 10 to 20 degree drop in temperatures, and chances for rain and snow across Arizona. For the valley, it's a slight chance of a few isolated showers at 10% on Sunday as we drop back into the 70s. And for Flagstaff, high winds with gusts over 45 miles per hour, a 30% chance for rain and snow showers, and temperatures falling into the 40s by Monday.